trainers, today I'll be guiding you through one of the choosable starters, Pikachu. Even if Pikachu isn't your starter that you've chosen, this guide should still help anyone who wants to learn how to play Pikachu well. In this guide, we'll be going through Pikachu's moves, movesets and combos, builds, pros and cons, and there'll be tips throughout the video. I'm Teeds, I've been a MOBA player for over 9 years and my goal is to help you become the very best like no one ever was. I will have all the starter guides linked down in the comments below. Let's jump into it. Pikachu is a special attack based Pokemon and is an attacker. Pikachu has ranged moves and I consider it to be pretty easy to learn and play. I suggest going either top lane or bottom lane with Pikachu, and generally you want to be paired with a defender or a supporter. Pikachu's passive is static, paralyzes all enemies nearby for a short time when Pikachu takes damage. This will go on a cooldown once it's triggered. Pikachu's basic attack. It will become a boosted attack after every third attack. This boosted attack will deal increased damage and will also paralyze enemies for a short time when it hits. Here's the attack chain. You have a basic attack, boosted attack. You'll want to use your basic attacks as much as you can to get that boosted attack for some crowd control and extra damage. Your first two moves as Pikachu is Thunder Shock and Electro Web. You'll want to pick up Thunder Shock first as this will help you damage and clear wild Pokemon. Thunder Shock has a 5-second cooldown. Pikachu releases electricity to an area, damaging enemies in the radius, and will also paralyze targets for a short time. You can then upgrade Thunder Shock into either of these two moves. First is Electro Ball, a 5-second cooldown and will always hit the target. Pikachu hurls an electric orb. This will paralyze and damage the target. It also has like splash damage, so enemies around your target will also take damage. The damage of this move will increase as the enemy's remaining HP decreases. When upgraded at level 11, this move will deal increased damage. This move is probably one of the easiest moves to use on Pikachu and it's pretty strong. I personally prefer using this move because of how it will always hit its target, dealing a pretty good amount of damage. Your second move upgrade choice is Thunder. It has an 8-second cooldown and it affects an area. Pikachu drops Thunderbolts at a designated area, damaging enemies in radius. When upgraded at level 11, it increases the number of times this move attacks. Thunderbolt is damage over time, so you'll not be hitting all of this damage off right away, and enemies can move out of it, so it does require some setup or crowd control if you'd like to have your enemies sit in this to take maximum damage from this move. Personally, I don't prefer this one as much because it does rely on other moves to be used efficiently. Okay, now let's talk about your second moves and its options. Electro Web is one of your other starting moves. It has a 9-second cooldown and it is a hindrance/crowd control. Pikachu captures a target, it will also deal damage and it roots them in place. This move is pretty strong, but you do lose it early once you have the upgrade options. You can then upgrade this move into either Volt Tackle. It has a 10-second cooldown, deals damage and holds the target. Pikachu charges ahead, throwing and damaging the enemy hit. The target will not be able to do anything when picked up by Pikachu in this move. Pikachu is also unstoppable in this move, which means you cannot be affected by crowd controls. When upgraded at level 13, you will have reduced cooldown on this move. I find this move to be pretty risky sometimes since you can still be damaged in this move, so if you use it on a target who is between their teammates, you can take a lot of damage using this move. I do find this move good for 1v1 fights, but in team fights it is pretty risky because it does put you in there depending on the positioning of your target. The other move option is Thunderbolt. 8-second cooldown, deals damage and stuns enemy in the area. Pikachu attacks with a strong electric blast, dealing damage to enemy Pokemon in the area and leaving them unable to act. When upgraded at level 13, the damage is increased. I personally really like this move. It's safe to use and it can also stun multiple enemies in the area, making it a great setup and super useful in team fights. Pikachu's Unite move, Thunderstorm. A huge area move, it attacks all opponents on the enemy team. You can use other moves during this Unite move. Now that we've covered all the moves, let's talk about movesets and combos. The first two moves you'll get as Pikachu is Electro Web and Thunder Shock. Electro Web is a great move to just root enemies from getting away, but the radius is smaller than Thunder Shock, so I would say that these two don't really rely on each other. Thunder Shock is a sure hit, so every time you use it, it is a guaranteed hit. I suggest to just always use Electro Web if enemies are getting away from you. Keeping them in place gives you more time to use your basic attacks and other moves. So there are two movesets you could go with Pikachu, but honestly, in my opinion, there's only like really one strong viable moveset. The moveset I find to be most viable is Thunderbolt and Electro Ball. Electro Ball just does a ton of damage, it is incredibly easy to use, and it can even follow enemies who manage to get far away from you even after you've used the move. This move still does damage to enemies around your target too, still making it great for your team fights, and the cooldown of this move is also pretty short. Thunderbolt is my other preferred move choice. It has the ability to damage and stun multiple enemies, making it a great teamfight move as well. For this moveset, an ideal combo would be Thunderbolt, Basic, Electro Ball, Basic. Thunderbolt's range is bigger than Electro Ball, so having the stun from Thunderbolt will help in catching up to enemies. You can also do Electro Ball, Basic, use Thunderbolt if they manage to get away, Basic, Electro Ball. This means you can just hold Thunderbolt if you need the stun. Electro Ball has a shorter cooldown, so you can just try basic attacking until it comes up, or use Thunderbolt when needed to try and keep enemies in place. If you want to go a different moveset, you can also try Volt, Tackle, and Thunder. This sounds like a good combo. You can Volt Tackle the enemy up during Thunder, keeping them in there for longer, but the issue with this combo is if you do it too quickly, you can actually save the enemy from taking some damage from Thunder. If I use Thunder and then Volt Tackle right after, I will deal less damage. So the combo would just basically be Thunder and then Volt Tackle, but this actually doesn't work very well together because it won't do the full amount of damage. What you have to do is you do Thunder, but then you have to do Volt Tackle way after, and during that time it does give enemies a window to escape to do the full amount of damage, so this is why I don't prefer this moveset. In my opinion, I would avoid this moveset just because you can easily prevent the enemy from taking damage if you try to do this combo together. Another possible combo is Thunder and Thunderbolt. You can use Thunderbolt and then Thunderbolt to stun the enemy in it, making sure they take as many hits as possible, but the issue is that this combo is harder to pull off than others. Electro Ball is just a guaranteed hit every time you use it, making it such a top tier move for Pikachu. For Pikachu's Unite move, I suggest using it in important objective team fights such as around Dreadnought and Zapdos. You can also use it if you're trying to score big points, but you want to make sure it's up before Zapdos spawns. Okay, next up, builds. Something important to keep in mind is that builds might change depending on if they make any changes to the items. I will let you know in the pinned comment down below if I think the build is changed. What I would build on Pikachu at the moment is Focus Band. This item will come in clutch situations and will heal you even in mid-fight if you get low. Muscle Band, this item will make your basic attacks stronger, and you really want to make use of your basic attacks on Pikachu. Buddy Barrier, after using your Unite move, this item will give you a shield and one other ally with the lowest health. It can save you and an ally, keeping you both in the fight. The reason why I do not build Wise Glasses on Pikachu is that currently Pikachu does not scale well with Wise Glasses. Wise Glasses is an item that basically just increases the special attack damage of your Pokemon, but at the moment the scaling with it and Pikachu in combination is just not that great, so I don't recommend Wise Glasses with Pikachu. Another alternative item you can use is Energy Amplifier. This item will increase the damage of your moves after using your Unite move for around 4 seconds. For battle items, I recommend Eject Button. This gives you more mobility so you can escape or engage with this item. Lastly, let's get into the pros and cons of Pikachu. First, we have the pros. It has strong damage early game and mid game, great amount of crowd control, super easy to play and learn, can support the team with its crowd control. And the cons, damage does not scale well into late game, pretty squishy and easy to take down, no escapes, and not many choices in viable movesets. Okay, so that is all for the Pikachu starter guide. A huge welcome to all the new players joining us in Pokemon Unite. I also have more starter guides for the other Pokemon as well as other beginner guides and strategies for those who want to dive into Pokemon Unite. I will be making in-depth guides for all Pokemon as well, but the next guides will just be focused on helping new players understand their starter so they can just jump right into the game. I know it's very exciting. I'm so excited to have you join us. But yeah, I hope this really helped you out. Subscribe and click the bell for more Pokemon Unite guides, news and gameplays. Liking the video would really help me out too. Thank you so much for watching, trainers. Bye!